Hi, this is Chris Bosch, and you're listening to Animal House Radio with Aaron and Dr. Mike.
But other good examples
And that's the emotional thing that you're talking about. I think that people are probably taking decent care of them health-wise, potentially, but it's the behavioral thing that worries me more than anything.
You're absolutely right. And nowhere in this campaign have we ever said that the zoo isn't doing the best that they can in the situation that they're in.
Right.
Okay? We're not saying they're providing substandard care. What we're saying is they have an inability to meet her needs. Cold climate, she's isolated, small enclosure, they're not able to meet her needs. That's the problem, not that they're not trying.
You know, Julie, here's a question that I just want to throw this out there. We're not coming out, we're not saying that the city of Edmonton is bad. We're saying that something needs to be done, and the city of Edmonton obviously has to address that. And I think this is where the issue comes in when you have a city and running a zoo. And this is what happens in most cases. And maybe if it was a private organization running the zoo with different policies and different guidelines, you may see something different. You may see a different call to action. Things may happen faster. But in this case, we're not putting down Edmonton. We're just, listen, there's an issue. We're putting it forward, and we're trying to find a good solution for this issue. And the city of Edmonton has to come to the table and say, listen, we are more than open, putting everything on the table to fixing the situation. We acknowledge that, you know what, maybe we shouldn't have an elephant in the city of Edmonton. We shouldn't have it.
But we're doing our best.
It's that rather than just, you know what, refusing to come on the air tonight. And I think the opportunity presented itself to the city of Edmonton to come on the air and to have not a debate, but a nice friendly conversation about the issues. And they rightfully declined, and that's to their prerogative. And needless to say, we got some of the stuff that you normally get when you deal with cities, and you just get you get the standard press release email stating, here, this is what we do, A, B, and C, and and I really do hope that the council, the person who's the member of council in the West Wing there, that runs the zoo or is in charge of the zoo from the city of Edmonton, that they sit down with Bob and they really put some stuff together and work it out, because I think that. I think within a month or 2 months from now, I don't think Lucy will be in Edmonton. I think she'll be in a nice sanctuary somewhere. I really do.
I absolutely agree with you. I think that once we figure out what the health condition is and what the treatment is for that, then the obvious thing is to move her. And I know that everybody, I trust the fact that people want the best for Lucy. And I understand an emotional attachment to her by some people who live in Edmonton and all of that. But let me say one other thing about this zoo. It's not all bad either. It certainly is a very small city zoo, and there's some problems there. And in this case, all we're asking for is one simple act of kindness.
Right.
And that is to get Lucy.
Yeah, you're not saying shut down the zoo. You're just saying, hey, there's an elephant there that probably shouldn't belong in 30 below weather. And
I'm sure there's people who work at the zoo who feel the exact same way, but it's not something where you can just turn on a switch and say, hey, listen, we're going to get the elephant out of here. These are things that take a long time. There's a process involved. And until a person like Bob Barker steps up, with Julie in these situations who point out, look what's going on, until these things come out in the public and the media gets a hold of them, then you start seeing an action call. And we're seeing that right now.
Yes, absolutely. And the other thing I will say for the city of Edmonton is I've heard recently that there's a wildlife rehab facility moving into the zoo grounds, which I think is a wonderful move forward.
That's great. It'd be
That's
beautiful.
The way zoos should move,
Right.
Educating the public about native wildlife and the plight of those animals and what they're suffering from, because then at least they're being held in a climate that is in their natural environment, and you could actually provide an environment that meets those animals' biological behavioral needs, have a conservation value, a true conservation value, and educate the public. It would actually accomplish the goals that zoos claim to do, but often can't accomplish.
That's great. Well, Julie, you've been a wonderful source of information here. Thank you so much. Can you tell our listeners how they can go and check out your website, check out more about you guys?
Absolutely. Check out zoocheck.com, and under our campaigns, you'll see under zoos, it's the Free Lucy campaign, and there's all kinds of information about her medical history and a comparison with Maggie and all sorts of things that they can do to help with the campaign.
Okay.
And there's also a second organization that we are part of called Cormorant Defenders International. That's cormorants.ca. That one's really important, too, because we have a large slaughter of cormorants in this province that most people probably aren't aware of.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for being on the program. Really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll have you on in the near future when we, hopefully we're going to follow this story, and we'll have you on to get your commentary once Ed's been out there with the vets to see this wonderful elephant, and we will speak to you hopefully in the near future.
Great.
Thanks so much for being on the program.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye-bye.
Julie Woodyer, thanks so much for coming on from ZooCheck Canada.
ZooCheck.com. Check ZooCheck out. I just wanted to say that. Ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, and always with Believe It or Not, we always have one of our favorite friends from the city of Toronto and Toronto Animal Services who join us while I do my Believe It or Not. Nicola!
Hello.
How's it going, my favorite friend?
Oh, you lie, but I'm going to answer that anyway. I'm fabulous as always.
All right. Looking stunning and fabulously looking. I'm going to read you my Believe It or Not. Are you ready, Nicola?
Bring it on.
Okay, here we go. Mike, the headless chicken. Not Dr. Mike. Kind of. Mike was a rooster that lived in the 1940s, and he lived even after his head was chopped off for 18 months. It's pretty much the same thing with Dr. Mike.
There's my hair. Anyway.
When snakes are born with two heads, they fight each other for food. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Frogs, you're such a liar. Frogs and mosquitoes have teeth. The underside of a horse's hoof is called a frog.
I knew that.
You liar. A duck's quack doesn't echo, and nobody knows why. A duck's quack doesn't
quack. I thought
doesn't
you said
echo.
dog's
I
quack.
knew that.
No one knows why. We need to put millions of dollars into one of these things to figure out why it doesn't echo. Crocodiles never outgrow the pools in which they live. That means if you put a baby croc in an aquarium, it would be the same size for the rest of his life. Did you know that?
Neat.
That is neat. I know that's true about certain fish. If you put a goldfish in a little bowl, they do certainly grow to the size of their environment.
Kangaroos cannot walk backwards. Ha ha! Take that, Australia! And finally, believe it or not, when frogs eat something that is poisonous or otherwise bad for them, they can throw up their entire stomach. That is, the stomach actually protrudes through their mouth.
Prolapse stomach. I wonder how you fix that.
I've done that a couple of nights after,
I was going to say, you can see that downtown on any Saturday night.
Oh, yeah, it's brutal. Just like, everything comes out. It's like, oh, boy. So, obviously, we had Bob Barker on tonight. We've had a whole bunch of different people on tonight, and ending it off as the biggest celebrity in Toronto is Nicola.
Of course.
Tell us your 2 cents on zoos, Nicola.
We only have like 3 minutes left on the show. So, Nicola, what's going on with Toronto Animal Services this week? I'm sorry.
Okay, no pressure.
Time starts now.
Things.
Starts now. Starts now. You're under 2 minutes, woman. Come on.
Okay, you sound like my supervisor. Stop. Couple of quick things. As always, even though it's a slow time of year, we've got lots of animals for adoption.
Yeah.
Now, I work out of the South Center down on the X grounds, and one of my colleagues wanted to note that we have a few special needs animals, and whether this may be a geriatric kitty cat or a puppy with a few special needs, going to need a little extra TLC and someone who really knows what's going on. If people have those extra resources and time, and with an older animal or a puppy with a couple of issues, there's going to be some more expenses involved. So we're looking for some very special people to come in for some very animals. So keep that in mind. Check out our website.
Super.
And keeping up with current events, we have a coyote issue.
Really?
I'm sure.
Oh no, I heard about that. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I know you guys can't read, but so I'll tell you about it.
You guys, that's plural. Come on.
I can't spell.
He can't
I know
read.
that.
And everybody else who joined us, and I want to make sure before we go, the city of Edmonton, you're a great city. You've got an issue. Let's fix the issue. We're going to get moving with this thing. We're going to have a great solution. Edmonton's a great place to go, and we're going to make sure the Edmonton Zoo is a great place to even be in the next couple of years. Ladies and gentlemen, Animal House Radio, we'll see you next week. Take care.